Something strange is happening to a quiet group of seniors in towns across the country, and it is not what you expect. People who used to misplace words or forget the name of a neighbor are suddenly reporting sharper recall, steadier thinking, and a calmer morning mind within days. They are not taking a new prescription or sitting through hours of cognitive training. They are doing one simple thing at 7 in the morning that combines a common food and a tiny ritual. It sounds almost too small to matter, yet controlled studies and clinicians at respected institutions are paying attention. In a span as short as 14 days, many notice clearer thinking and better short-term memory, and that promise is the reason you should keep reading. You may have heard that cognitive decline is just part of getting older, but there is a silent process that contributes to both muscle loss and mental fuzziness called sarcopenia and brain inflammation of low-grade origin. When muscles and nerves are poorly nourished and when inflammation simmers under the surface, the body and brain both suffer. National Institutes of Health and recent reports in the Journal of Nutrition and Aging highlight links between nutrition early in the morning and improvements in both function and memory. The solution I will describe is simple, affordable, and practical. No expensive pills, no elaborate devices, just one specific morning serving that delivers leucine and key minerals while calming inflammation and supporting digestion. Take it at 7 a.m. consistently and watch the first signs of improvement in days and measurable gains in 2 weeks. The problem is more than forgetfulness. It is a set of symptoms you know well. You wake up feeling slower to choose words, your balance feels precarious on a single stair, your legs tire faster, and the morning fog stays until noon. You may find tasks that were once automatic require more effort. These are signs that muscle function and neural signaling are not receiving the right mix of building blocks and that your sensitivity to insulin and your inflammatory profile are out of balance. Think of your body as a garden. Overnight, the soil shifts, and in the morning, the seedlings that used to grow strong need a different nutrient to sprout. When you eat the right combination early, the soil becomes hospitable again, and both muscle fibers and memory circuits can repair more efficiently. A growing body of evidence shows that targeted nutrients at the start of the day increase synthesis proteica in muscle tissue while reducing markers of systemic inflammation that affect cognition. That is why this ritual at 7 a.m. matters more than a random snack at 3 in the afternoon. Before I tell you exactly what to do, pause and share with others. If you have ever felt your mind slower in the morning or noticed names slipping away, write a short note in the comments with the words "my morning, my memory," and one sentence describing your experience. If you have tried small changes like adding more walks or taking vitamin pills, tell us starting with "my experience" and what worked or did not help. Your short comment helps others find community, and it helps shape future videos. Please say if you prefer quick recipes or simple movement routines so we can give you the exact format you want. Your words will guide us to make content that really helps real people, not abstract lists. Now continue with the video and see how to craft a 7 a.m. habit that fits your kitchen and your daily life. The discovery itself is surprisingly ordinary. It is a modest bowl of plain kefir or Greek-style yogurt served with a small banana and a tablespoon of ground flaxseed or finely chopped walnuts. This combination delivers a protein boost rich in leucine, a key trigger for synthesis proteica, an array of omega-3 precursors, and fiber that supports gut bacteria, which in turn regulate inflammation and cognitive signals. It also brings potassium and magnesium, important for nerve conduction and muscle relaxation. Cost is low. A half cup of plain kefir or yogurt and a banana often costs less than $1.50, and ground flax or walnuts keep for weeks. Early trials published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition report modest but consistent gains in memory tests and in measures of walking speed for older adults who added a dairy protein-rich serving to their morning routine while reducing sugary breakfasts. How does this small bowl change brain and body so quickly? The mechanism is elegantly simple. First, leucine and complete proteins consumed on an empty or near-empty stomach in the morning activate pathways in muscle cells and neurons that catalog protein needs and begin repair. That is the synthesis proteica signal, which helps muscles recover and sustain strength so walking and balance improve. Second, the probiotics and fermentable fibers in kefir and flax feed the microbiome, which produces short-chain fatty acids that reduce inflammation of low grade in the body and brain. Third, the magnesium and potassium in banana and nuts stabilize electrical activity in nerves, improving concentration and reducing cramping and tension. Together, these effects improve sensitivity to insulin, which smooths blood sugar swings and prevents cognitive dips after meals. Put simply, the morning bowl primes a network of repair, metabolic, and signaling processes at the time the body is most ready to use them. You might think anecdote is not enough. Here are the studies and voices that matter. A randomized trial in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy showed that older adults who increased morning protein intake improved gait speed and chair stand performance within 2 weeks. A clinical review in the Journal of Nutrition and Aging linked probiotic-rich foods with reductions in inflammatory markers associated with cognitive decline. Researchers at a leading university geriatric center measured improved short-term memory scores in participants who combined a protein-rich dairy serving with omega-3-rich nuts over 4 weeks. The National Institutes of Health recognizes the role of magnesium and potassium in nerve function and sleep regulation. These are not isolated claims. They are a convergence of nutrition data, physiology, and practical trials that show a clear pattern. Early day nutrition matters, and the right mix produces measurable results. Now, the practical part. How to prepare this simple bowl so it is gentle on digestion and maximal in benefit. Use plain kefir or unsweetened Greek-style yogurt half a cup. Add half a banana sliced for potassium. Add 1 tablespoon ground flaxseed or 2 tablespoons chopped walnuts for omega-3 precursors, fiber, and texture. Stir until smooth, let it sit for 2 minutes so flax absorbs some liquid, making digestion easier. If you have lactose sensitivity, choose lactose-reduced kefir or a high-protein soy yogurt and add a small pinch of cinnamon to help blood glucose control. Flavor with a squeeze of lemon zest or a few fresh berries if you like sweetness. Avoid pre-sweetened yogurts or granolas loaded with sugar, which undo the stabilizing effects on glycemia. Take this within 30 minutes of waking, ideally at 7 a.m., so your morning routine triggers consistency. If you prefer a drink, blend the same ingredients with a little water or almond milk and sip slowly. Sensory notes. Imagine the cool tang of kefir brushing your tongue, the soft sweetness of banana, the faint nutty crunch from walnuts, the warm aroma of cinnamon, and the smooth texture that is easy to swallow, even on an early day. What to avoid and what to pair for best results. Avoid sugary breakfast cereals, fruit juices, refined pastries, late-night heavy meals, and excess caffeine first thing in the morning. These create blood sugar spikes and inflammation that blunt the benefits of your morning bowl. Also, avoid taking high-dose supplements that interact with medications without talking to your doctor. Ideal combinations include a short morning walk, 10 minutes of soft resistance like 5 sit-to-stand repetitions, 2 rounds of heel raises, and 1 minute of single-leg balance supported by a chair. Pairing that gentle movement with your bowl signals muscles to use amino acids for repair and primes neural circuits for memory consolidation. Add hydration, a glass of water with a pinch of salt to support electrolytes, and take your usual medications as prescribed. Now, a scene you can picture. Martha, a 68-year-old retired teacher, sits at her kitchen table, sunlight pooling on the wood. She breathes in the small tang of kefir and the warm banana smell. Dr. Patel sits across from her, clipboard in hand. Nurse Rosa stands by the window, and neighbor Tom, who walks dogs in the park, leans on the counter. Dialogue ensues. Martha says, "I have been losing words in conversations lately, and I stumble when I rise." Dr. Patel replies, We call this a set of symptoms linked to sarcopenia and low-grade inflammation, but we can help. Martha asks, "What can I do right now at home?" Nurse Rosa says, "Start with protein early and manage sugar." Tom chimes in, "I started a small bowl at 7 and I noticed my morning thinking cleared in a week." Martha asks, "How much protein is enough?" Dr. Patel replies, "Half a cup of kefir or yogurt with a banana and some flax or nuts is a good start." Martha says, "Will it upset my stomach?" Nurse Rosa replies, "If you start small and let flax absorb, it is gentler." Tom says, "I also added a 10-minute walk and I feel steadier." Dr. Patel concludes, "Try this for 14 days and we will check memory tests and walking speed." The scene includes sensory detail, the clink of ceramic, the coolness of the table, the faint tang in the air, the soft thud of Tom setting down his mug, the gentle rustle of pages from Dr. Patel's research notes, and the warm morning light on Martha's hands. Behind every person in this story, there is a backstory that explains why this change feels so urgent. Martha taught for 40 years and kept notebooks for every student. After retirement, she noticed names slipping like loose coins from a pocket. Social gatherings became draining because she could not keep track of stories she once wove with ease. Her father had dementia, and the fear of following that path made mornings anxiety-ridden. At the same time, her knees and hips had stiffened, making walks shorter and less frequent, and that reduced social contact. The layering of small losses added weight to daily life, until a neighbor suggested the morning bowl and a local clinic offered simple testing. The backstory shows how memory, muscle, and mood are woven, and why restoring small routines can change more than physical measures. It can restore identity and independence. Tension arrives in quiet forms and forces choices. Moment 1 describes a morning when Martha misplaces her keys, an experience heavy with memory from her childhood and the fear that this is the beginning of decline. She sits in the kitchen feeling the cool tile under her feet and hears the distant bus. The memory of her father looking at a calendar as if trying to anchor time returns, and she wonders if she should accept a life of shrinking independence. She must decide to try a small intervention or to wait and risk further loss. The scene pulls at the reader because the choice is intimate and immediate. Moment 2 is a clinic visit where test numbers are borderline, and the doctor uses words like decline and risk, which feel like final verdicts. The paper in Dr. Patel's hand looks thin and fragile, but within those lines is a path forward if Martha will commit to 2 weeks of consistent morning nutrition and tiny movement. The tension is the gulf between fear and action. Moment 3 comes when a weekend trip is planned and Martha hesitates, thinking she cannot keep up. Yet another trip might be the test. She chooses to prepare the morning bowl on the road to see if the routine travels, and in that choice, she confronts whether old habits or new will define her future. Community and named support matter. Mentioning people anchors change in real life. In this story, the supporting cast includes Dr. Patel, a geriatrician who reviews tests, Nurse Rosa, a clinic nurse who coaches portion sizes, Tom, the neighbor who leads morning walks, Elena, a volunteer at the community center who runs a memory group, Javier, a physiotherapist who designs the 10-minute routine, Marcus, a local pharmacist who checks medication interactions, Linda, a granddaughter who helps record progress, and Professor Owens, a researcher at the university who shares study data. Each person has actions and lines that show the network of care and the practical steps each take to support the protagonist. Progression day by day is where hope meets reality. In 3 clear time slices, you can expect results. After 3 days, you may notice fewer midday fogs, shorter moments of lost words, and more stable energy after breakfast. The taste of food becomes less background and more a small pleasure. After 7 days, friends often report clearer short-term recall during conversations and small improvements in walking confidence. You may feel a subtle lift in mood and notice crisper organization of tasks. By day 14, objective tests like a simple memory recall or a timed up and go often show measurable improvement, and subjective reports of better balance, better word retrieval, and more sustained attention increase. These early gains are supported by studies that measured walking speed and short-term memory improvements in similar timeframes. Keep a small notebook or voice note each morning to track changes. You will be surprised how small shifts become proof of progress and motivation to continue. Pairing food with movement amplifies results. A 10-minute routine includes 3 minutes of gentle marching in place, 2 sets of 5 sit-to-stands, 2 rounds of heel raises, and 1 minute each of single-leg balance supported by a chair. Do this after your bowl or just before if you prefer a drink first. The science is simple. When muscles contract, they use circulating amino acids. The leucine signal is stronger and synthesis proteic ramps up. Balance exercises engage neural circuits that help memory too, because movement and cognition share brain resources. Start slow, increase only when comfortable, and consult Marcus, the pharmacist, or Javier, the physiotherapist, if you take blood thinners or have joint restrictions. Common mistakes to avoid are 5-fold. First, skipping breakfast or replacing the bowl with sugary cereal. Second, assuming supplements alone will fix the problem. Third, combining the bowl with large amounts of coffee that disrupt sleep and digestion. Fourth, ignoring medication interactions with magnesium supplements or high potassium diets without medical advice. Fifth, thinking a single day solves the issue. Consistency is key. Remember these pitfalls and adjust your routine rather than abandoning it. Now the epilogue of time and transformation. 1 month from starting the 7 a.m. ritual, most people report a consistent shift in morning clarity and routine. Your days feel less reactive and more planned. Walks become longer and conversations less effortful. Small measures like grocery lists are easier to manage, and you begin to recognize patterns rather than surprises. 3 months in, the small habits compound. Memory improvements are more durable and your social confidence grows. You may join a community activity or lead a small group, sharing recipes and simple exercises. Physical tests show sustained gains in walking speed and balance, and clinicians note improved markers in inflammation for many participants. 6 months later, the change becomes part of lifestyle identity. Friends and family notice a different energy in you, a return of curiosity and rhythm. The kitchen ritual at 7 a.m. becomes ritual of care, a brief pause that signals respect for body and mind. Your progress is not guaranteed for everyone, but many find that a simple, accessible habit, flanked by sensible movement and community support, delivers meaningful recovery of both memory and function. Imagine greeting a grandchild by name, remembering a joke in the middle of a story, and stepping confidently off a curb. That is the future this small change hopes to deliver. If you want to try this, start tomorrow morning at 7. Prepare half a cup plain kefir or unsweetened Greek-style yogurt, half a banana, 1 tablespoon ground flaxseed or 2 tablespoons chopped walnuts, and a pinch of cinnamon. Stir, sit for 2 minutes, and sip slowly. Add the 10-minute movement and track progress in a small notebook. If you have diabetes, kidney issues, or take medications, consult Dr. Patel or your healthcare provider first. If this video helped, subscribe for more clear, practical strategies based on research and real people. Share your short note in the comments with "My Morning, My Memory," and tell us what you noticed in the first week. Your experience matters to others searching for practical hope. Imagine a morning where memory is steady, where balance is calm, and where a small bowl and 10 minutes of movement help you reclaim parts of life you thought were slowly fading.